Where have all those darned rocks gone to? I cleaned them up. I'm Music Kev, and this is Legend of Zelda: Link Between Worlds. You went ahead and did the job for me. I gotta thank you for all that. Come on in, okay? Yeah, it's always good to be nice. Always. I think he's gonna give me something. A purple ruby. I was hoping for a piece of heart, but a purple ruby's pretty nice. $50. It'll do. Before I make my way up Death Mountain, I'm gonna check out this little cave I found behind his house. I'm not sure if it's somewhere I'm supposed to be yet, but it's a red ruby. Totally worth my time. And those ropes. I don't know what their obsession is with dropping enemies, but Legend of Zelda has always been a fan of, like, enemies appearing out of nowhere. Or seemingly nowhere. I'm sure there's probably some summoning thing that's making them appear, but who really knows? And once again, I'm one hit away from death. Not anymore, I'm not. That's good. So this is the way up to Death Mountain, in this game at least. So hopefully by the end of the episode, I'll be at the top. And I'll find myself in front of the dungeon. These big rocks are non-liftable right now, even with a power glove. I know in the original, it was the difference between light and dark rocks. But I think they want to just make it a little bit more clear in this game which rocks you could lift and which rocks you couldn't. The light and dark mechanic always threw me, especially whenever the big ones were dark. It made me question whether or not I could actually lift them, even with the next level up. So this is just a spiral staircase, really. And like the original, or like its predecessor, I will be having rocks dropped on my head, of course. This really stinks, because if I take too many hits here, I will definitely go down. The mallet's really nice up here. It's the ideal item, actually, because it not only kills those guys, but also breaks through these big rocks, which is good for getting shortcuts and money. Money's always good, especially with Ravio being the issue that he is. I don't actually need to kill those stone guys. I just need to get them out of my way. That was way too close for comfort. I don't like it. I'm going to actually save here. So if I do get sent back to Ravio's, I can just teleport back up to Death Mountain. Or fast travel, rather. Not really teleportation. I don't know. I think the flying on the broom makes a little bit more sense than flying on a duck. I mean, you know, the average velocity of an air-laden swallow, depending upon it, if it's African or European, it's probably not as high as the average velocity of a link-laden duck. And yes, I am going to resort to milk because it's really hard to predict the movements of these rocks. Not as hard as the original, mind you, but still, they sometimes seem to come out of nowhere. Yeah, like that. I would have been dead there. I really am not entirely sure. Oh, up. The answer is always up. Before I go into that door, which is the obvious one, I'm going to make myself over here. Yeah, this ability to go around walls, perfect, I need those. This ability to go around walls also makes it a little bit easier to avoid the whole jumping down from above. I'm going to bottle a fairy and use one to heal myself. So now the difference between death counts and game over counts is actually going to be mattering. Fortunately, whenever you die and are revived by a fairy, it does not count for Ravio taking your stuff. So that's why I think a fairy is more important for me to keep in a bottle than any potion. Especially since I'm not really known for drinking the potions. I'm more of the save it until you actually really need it, and then end up never really using it. Yeah, so this is the new Death Mountain. It's basically just a bowling ball issue. Oh, holy crap. So I really can't afford to take hits from these guys. Yeah, it's... The amount of damage that these things do is crazy. You have to either be fast with a hammer or really good with the ability to go into walls. I cannot believe that I'm almost ready to die, and I've been in this Death Mountain for like, what? 5 minutes? It's okay, though. I don't think that I have too much to worry about. I mean, they do roll at a steady pace. I'll go in the harder one first and then go back and get the other one if that was the right way. Oh, perfect. So not only do I get red rubies, but I get access to this little Mai. There is way too much dangerous stuff up here, and I really don't want to waste my fairy before I get into the actual dungeon. I mean, come on, that would be kind of pathetic, right? Well, I'm at 2 hearts now. At least the annoying beeping has stopped. This looks like a bad level from Donkey Kong. I mean, I'm sure there's a way to predict which way those things are going to roll, but I don't know it. Is it just they always roll to the left? I guess they always roll to the left. Good to know. I don't want to risk bopping them with a hammer, because I know if I try that, I'll miss. Oh, that one didn't roll to the left. Oh my god, this is very nerve-wracking. I don't really know how else to say it, but this is a very difficult section, especially for hero mode. Not being able to have much leeway as to being hit and making mistakes definitely makes it harder on the player. The player being me, of course. But yeah, if I was just playing it and it was easy, it wouldn't be as entertaining now, would it? That's my opinion, at least. I like to see people struggle and work hard for their keep. I know that there's going to be a boulder coming out of one of these holes. I think this is the door I want to go through, but I'm not 100% sure. Oh, good news is I can just jump in the wall. There's that entrance down there. I think that just leads to a dead end, so it's a good thing I didn't end up accidentally taking that one. Let's do a little bit more exploration here, and then we will head over to the dungeon. I think it's called the Tower of Hera. No, it's... Is that another game? What's this? Tower of Hera. Yep. In the original one, it's definitely not the mallet that you use here. I think you only get the moon pearl in that one. If I'm not mistaken, I'll need the hookshot. Yes, I need the hookshot over there, which I didn't buy from Ravio. So here we are back at the next dungeon. Once I finish this dungeon, the gameplay will slow down a little bit, since it's going to be rather tricky for me to complete dungeons from here on out. I had the right idea. Just poor execution. So these little happy face guys let you bounce, which is quite an entertaining mechanic until you realize that you have to time things really, really well. I think I can just go through this wall without it. Yep. It's great that as a painting you don't actually take damage. And I think I'm going to go out this window. I really want to go out that window, so before I actually move on to the next level of the Tower of Hera, I'm going to find myself outside. Worth 50 rubies to me. Yeah, it's not even enough to have 1,000 rubies. And you'll see once I can start buying stuff from Ravio. that it's just so much better to have way more rubies than you can count, especially with all the little games, mini games and stuff that you have going on here. So the big ones will launch you to the next level. I don't know if you remember these guys. They're the little blue guys. They can be killed by several sword swings, or they can be just chucked off the ledge because of how much bounce back it happens. Those definitely look either creepy or happy. Maybe they're creepy because they look so happy. I'm not entirely sure, but they make me uncomfortable. Like sinister almost. I don't think there's much on this floor to explore, so I'm just going to go up to the next level. And here we have our first little demonstration of the up-down abilities of these blocks. And the other one, the ability for those to move up and down wasn't such a big deal. Aside from blocking your progress, they just kind of made it tricky to, they didn't make anything important of riding them up, but in this one, that's kind of like what the mechanic is being able to ride them up and also use them for merging into the wall. And the Tower of Hera is one of my least favorite dungeons. I'll tell you what my absolute least favorite one is whenever we get there. But it's just because it has so many levels. Fortunately for me, though, and for exploration purposes, there is only like one real important thing on each level. I know there's something over here. Oh, some hearts. I'll take those because I need them desperately. I just didn't want to risk taking another trip around the horn on those things. Skeletons with their little jumpy thing, where they jump anytime you swing your sword at them. Hate fighting those. Anyway, that's it for this episode of Legend of Zelda: Link Between Worlds. Next time, I'm going to let that other little guy out of the cage to join his brothers in death. See you then. Until then, this has been Legend of Zelda: Link Between Worlds, and I'm Music Kev. Please like, comment, and subscribe.